got two empty slots there, right?
Yeah, right.
In the middle, right?
Yeah.
What do we want to load into? Scared is running.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on the go-ahead. John Alvarez come in?
Here is this rag has wrapped all the way around the head shaft or the last shaft of the rotary disc screen, and it is bridged across the air knife, and now rag after rag has built into a chain that extends all the way down into the hopper. We're now looking at the liners, and to show you what can happen if you get any projections, such as a projection shown here, you can bet your booties that something is going to land on it and hang up. So everything must be smooth. dead spots because right now you've got a flinger on each one of these rolls, so there are no dead spots. You can use them. And outside here is a secondary flinger, so the material cannot get out into the bearing itself. The bearing's protected. Hydraulically driven is 2 sets of hydraulic drives, both of which are adjustable as to speed.
What kind of bearings do you have out here?
Over here? Right there, yeah. Okay, you want to open that, Larry? Okay, close it. And let's bolt her up. Bolt it up. Walk up around it, Larry, for me. We are now going to feed some paper into the feed opening to show how negative it is.
We're now going to unplug the proximity sensor once again from the shredder. It's now disconnected. The shredder is in its reversing sequence because the computer believes that the shredder is now jammed and is reversing only because of the signal being disconnected from the proximity sensor. You will notice that oil pressure is below 1,000 psi on both gauges. The pressure switch has absolutely nothing to do with the reversing of the shredder. I'm now going to reattach the proximity plug in order to demonstrate that the shredder will once again operate in a normal fashion. The computer is now reading the proximity sensor, and as you can see, the main coupling is rotating continuously. The opposite side of the Williams number 150 ripshare shredder. This chamber contains the gearbox assembly and proximity sensor utilized in our shredder. In just a moment, we're going to elevate the camera so you can look in the top of this chamber in order to properly view the proximity sensor in action. Here are some of the tire product that we've been shredding while you've been watching the pressure switch, gauge, and proximity sensor. As you can see, these are some very large truck tire sections which resulted in continuous jamming inside of the shredder chamber. Okay, we're now going to show you some of the tire product that's been coming from the bottom of the shredder during these operations. As you can see, these are some very large truck tire sections which caused the jamming in the shredder.
Okay, that's fine right there.
Okay.
Now hold on. Tell me whatever you're going to do there.
Okay, we're going to show how the proximity cable passes through the bulkhead along these clips to the Williams proximity switch. This switch is equipped with a light emitting diode that indicates when the switch is sensing gear teeth as they pass by in proximity to the switch. This is the Williams gearbox section. You can see the gears here underneath the plexiglass cover. Each time the proximity sensor takes note of a gear tooth, you will see the little light emitting diode blink red.
All right, would you turn it on, please?
Please start the shredder. Okay, you can now see the Williams proximity sensor's light emitting diode blinking quite clearly as it takes note of each gear tooth passing underneath it. Okay. You can now see that the gear is rotating below the proximity sensor, and the light emitting diode blinks as it takes note of each gear tooth, indicating that the sensor is reading the teeth on the gears. This tells the Williams computer that the shredder is rotating. Okay, we've now once again filled the hopper of the Ripsher shredder with large tires. We're going to cause the shredder... Okay, we're going to show you the tires in the Ripsher hopper. And return the camera to the proximity sensor. What you will note is that when the gears stop rotating, the light emitting diode will stop flashing. This also indicates to the Williams computer that the shafts have positively come to a stop. It will then initiate a reversing sequence and try to operate in the forward direction. Each time the shredder shafts completely stop, a reversing sequence will be initiated, and you can note this by the fact that the diode will stop blinking.
All right, go ahead.
Please start the shredder. The shredder is now jammed. The light is out. Now it's counting teeth as it reverses. Now it's counting teeth. Now it's slowed to a stop. Now it's reversing. Now it's jammed and reversing again. You will note that the shredder does not reverse unless the shafts actually stop. You noted there that they slowed down, but the shredder did not reverse until they stopped. You will notice that the shredder slowed down but did not stop. Henceforth, it did not reverse.
It was over pressure!
It was at that time over pressure by the sound of the relief valve relieving to the tank. Please stop the shredder. We caught one at the end there. Okay, Bob Thomas is going to feed large car tires into the hopper in an effort to cause the shredder to slow down but not completely stop, open the relief valve, but still continue shredding without causing a reversing sequence.
Okay, you'll have to start it, won't you?
Yep. Okay. We're going to unlock the starter and start the power pack. You just saw the shredder jam, cut through the jam and continue shredding even though the relief valve was open. Right. Once again, you can note the rotation of the gear and observe that the shredder will slow down and then continue shredding without initiating a reversing sequence unless it completely stops. Please note closely the speed of the gear. You see it slow down and then continue shredding. The increase in sound in the background is that of the relief valve opening. Once again, you see the gears slow down as the relief valve opens. However, the shredder continues to shred.
Put that guy in
We're gonna
there.
put,
Keep it on the fine side if you can, Bob. Right? Then you're gonna set that one right on top of it to try to get it to really. Okay, here we go.
Okay, we're going to start the shredder again. And observe the operation of the proximity sensor and gears. Now you notice that the shaft slowed down momentarily and then resumed full speed operation without reversing. Now it has a positive jam where the shaft stopped and is in its normal reversing sequence. Once again, the shredder slows and jams. It completely stops, so it reversed. Now you see the shredder almost stop, break loose, and continue shredding. Had we used the pressure switch, it would have reversed. Since we use our proximity sensor, it did not. The Williams shredder only reverses when the shaft stops. You will note the reversal has absolutely nothing to do with the pressure in the shredder. The relief valve has no effect on causing reversing, only shaft RPM. Once again, you see the shafts slow as the relief valve opens, but the shredder continues to rotate. And you will see that it only reverses in the event that the shafts stop. Okay, we've now returned the camera to the test plant floor to show you once again additional tire product that was just produced by the shredder during the operation you just watched.
Hold some of it up, right? Any other stringy stuff? Okay, thank you.
Okay, we've now returned to the Ripshare Power Pack. I'm now pointing to the Williams low pressure switch. This switch, as you can see, is completely hydraulically disconnected from the circuit and was all during the tests that you saw today. This switch does not initiate reversing. It will prohibit reversing should dirt or cold fluid accumulate in the main spool valve. As you can see, the switch had no function during our test because the shredder spool valve was operating properly.
Is there another switch?
There is on the other side of our power pack an additional switch, which is also disconnected and was disconnected during every test that we ran today. This is a filter unit, and on top of it is a filter dirty switch. The only purpose of this switch is to indicate when the pressure drop across the filter has built up due to plugging, and this will cause the shredder to stop. As you can see, it's completely disconnected and has no effect on the operation of the shredder in a normal condition whatsoever.
During this test, were any pressure switches connected then?
Absolutely. The only pressure switch connected was when we operated using the old method with the pressure switch shown here, which initiated reversing. No other pressure switches were connected to the electric circuit.
All of those pressure switches are only designed to detect dirty oil or
Hydraulic faults. They detect dirty oil. In the case of the filter dirty switch, they stop the shredder. If the low pressure switch detects a pressure anomaly in the circuit, that pressures have not dropped properly, it will stop the shredder. It does not initiate reversing. It stops reversing.
Okay, thank